Caloric deficit is not working for me. This is what I've heard from some of you guys. I'm Coach Ábris, founder of Demi Cycle Protocol, and we help high achievers and corporate executives over the age of 40 and 50 permanently go below 15% body fat, double their natural energy levels, gain lean muscle and strength without counting calories, without having to take stimulants or sleep drugs, or without training more than 2 to 4 hours per week or saying no to your favorite foods. And when it comes to not counting calories and stuff like that, you might confuse this with having to be in a calorie deficit or not. And I have received DMs all over Twitter or X, or call it whatever you want, LinkedIn and Instagram, and basically all over social media that calorie deficit is not working for me. Many people told me this, and this is just ridiculous, right? And let me explain why and how you can get out of this belief and how you can actually help yourself sustainably losing body fat and keeping it off forever for good. So, because ultimately this would be the goal. If you say that caloric deficit is not working for you, basically you are denying the laws of, not the laws of physics, but the laws of biomechanics, the laws of biochemistry in your body. So if you are eating less energy, your energy intake is lower than the energy that you burn every single day, of course you will end up losing weight, right? This is just weight loss. I'm not talking about fat loss. Fat loss is different. So if you are just generally in a caloric deficit, your body weight will keep going down. There is no such thing that you're eating less than what you burn and you are not losing weight. Probably if you think that you're in a calorie deficit but you're in fact not in a calorie deficit, that's because you are not in a calorie deficit. That's why you are not losing weight. So always observe, am I really in a calorie deficit? Am I really eating less energy than what I burn? And you can easily do that just by stepping on the scale every single Monday morning, looking at your weight fasted. So this is what we call with our clients the moment of truth. So every time and in the moment of truth, you step on the scale and you check it out, what's up, right? And if it's not moving for several weeks in a row towards the direction that you want it to be, then probably that means that you are not in a calorie deficit. And sometimes you just have to face the hard truth. You just have to face the fact that, okay, you are not in a calorie deficit. You have not done all the actions that you were supposed to do in order to be able to lose fat. And what do I mean by that? So this is just like weight loss. Fat loss is different, we will talk about that too. But when it comes to just general weight loss, there is one thing that people overestimate and there's something that they underestimate. They overestimate the importance of tracking the calories and underestimate the importance of honesty when it comes to logging and tracking your food. So, do you need to log and track your food at all? No, not. You don't even have to count calories in order to be able to be successful with weight loss, right? You just need to follow a few simple nutritional principles, and of course you will need to eat less energy but not less food than what you burn, right? So you can eat more food if the size of the food is bigger but contains less energy. So for example, lean cuts of meat or large size carbs like potatoes, sweet potatoes, mandioca, grilled vegetables. So all of these are great sources of carbs and great sources of protein, which are lean, right? So it doesn't contain that many calories. So you don't necessarily have to track calories if you know what foods you can eat that are actually low in calorie, high in protein, and fill you up, right? So fill out that space in your stomach. But the thing is, it's very important to be honest about the amount of food that you're eating. Because sometimes, if you take, for example, pictures of each of your meals, and this is how you track it, sometimes you only take the picture and send it to your coach or like upload it to your meal tracker when you have already eaten half of it. And that's not honesty, that's discrepancy. For example, when you register one serving of potato chips, right, in your meal tracking app if you happen to use one, but instead of one serving you ate an entire bag or an entire plate or whatever, right? So if you're not honest about your portion sizes, or at least you don't have someone who keeps you accountable and can kind of like eye measure and estimate how much you were eating because of his experience in the field, then it's gonna be difficult for you. If you don't have experience with your health and your fitness and being conscious about these things for several years in a row, then you will also find it difficult to just look at a plate and tell me what the portion sizes are and to see if this is too much or too little for you to eat, right? So I get that in the beginning tracking macros and tracking calories might be important for you or might be even useful, but it's such a waste of time and you don't want to do that. There are much more efficient ways of making sure that you are in a calorie deficit, but you don't have to track the calories actually. So my favorite way of doing this is like tracking two alternative metrics which take way less time than counting the calories and allow you for more flexibility. And one of these metrics is your total daily protein intake, and the second one is your sleep metrics, your sleep quality in general, which is sum of many different metrics. So let's talk about these two first. So protein, why I'm saying protein, because you are less likely to overeat, you are actually more likely to be in a calorie deficit if you are eating more protein, at least 150 grams per day, or like 1 gram for every pound of your body weight. And why? Because this is where we make a difference, a very, very big difference between weight loss and fat loss, right? So when you're going for weight loss, it's enough for you, of course, to eat less energy than what you burn, and yeah, you will just end up being smaller. But if today you're not satisfied with how you look in the mirror and you think that, damn, I look like crap, then guess what will happen if you just lose weight? You will still look like crap, but smaller. A smaller piece of crap, right? This is what you think about your body if you're not satisfied with it. But here comes the thing. If you are not just losing weight, but you are losing fat specifically, that means that your body fat percentage will be lower and your relative or even the absolute lean muscle mass that you have will be higher. First, it is better for your hormonal health, better for your metabolism, better for longevity. You are much more likely to live longer if you have a lower amount of body fat, extra weight that your heart has to carry and supply, right? It's very important in terms of cardiovascular health. Okay, so this is protein makes the difference. Mostly protein and resistance training, so training intense 2 to 4 times per week. This makes the difference between just weight loss and fat loss, right? So the reason why I would rather track only protein instead of calories, because you're less likely to overeat calories if you're already satiated by the protein or the high protein foods, right? You are less likely to have cravings or those random hunger urges than when you just open the fridge and eat whatever you see in front of you. So that's very important. Always eat a lot of protein. And another thing is that it's metabolically more active than any other macronutrient. What does this mean, right? So let's translate this from Chinese. So protein takes more energy for your system to digest, to process, to absorb than carbohydrates and fats. More or less like 4 times more metabolically active than carbs and 6 times more metabolically active than fats. So if you want a faster metabolism, if you want to actually boost your energy expenditure for the whole day, so how many calories are you burning, right? If you want to boost that up, simply your first step will be eating more protein and making sure that you always hit your protein targets. And to be honest, it's not that difficult. You don't even have to take whey protein supplements for that. Of course, whey protein is just a source of convenience in this case. But as long as you make sure that each meal contains protein and 50% of each of your plates is a preferred protein source, and if you can implement these tricks that you're like combining multiple protein sources into one meal, right? It could be eggs and whey protein smoothie, Icelandic skyr yogurt with whey protein. It could be shrimp and eggs, steak and eggs, chicken breast and tilapia, whatever you prefer, right? So just mix the protein sources if you can, because then from like moderate, okay portions, you can get enough in from different sources. You can eat low-fat cheese, you can eat cottage cheese, you can eat any kind of lean dairy, you can eat seafood, eggs, egg whites, any type of lean cuts of meat, right? Sirloin, tenderloin, filet mignon, whatever, 95/5, you know, lean ground beef, ground rabbit, game meat. There are a lot of like lean cuts of game meat with just a little fat on them. These are all amazing, and they are guaranteed to boost your metabolism, increase your testosterone levels, which is an essential hormone for creating the ideal environment for low body fat and high muscle mass, so like a healthy body composition. And if you haven't watched it yet, I have a video about testosterone and how to optimize it in your 40s. Definitely check this out. And of course, another advantage is it's expensive to maintain high muscle mass for your body. So it comes with a lot of caloric expenditure. So just think about this. If you have more muscle mass, that takes more energy to maintain on a daily basis for your body. That means that if you are more muscular than the person sitting next to you, you can stay seated, and even while sitting, you will burn more calories than that individual. How cool is that, right? So definitely a high protein diet will be essential. And as long as you're hitting your daily protein goals, you are less likely to exceed your total portions for the day. So after a time, it becomes useless for you to track calories because the order will be reset in your life, right? You don't necessarily have to track calories. It's good if you have a more or less of an awareness of like what should be your daily target, but there are no two equal days. There are no 2 days when you have the exact amount of steps, the exact amount of movement, right? So you can look at it this way. About 70% of how much energy you're burning during the day is determined by how much muscle you have, how your body composition looks like, how much do you weigh right now. This is what we call the BMR, the basal metabolic rate. So by default, how much you're burning. And the rest of the like 20-30% is how much you actually move during the day. So that's still a quite wide range, right? So if you look at it this way, you can manipulate the amount of food that you're eating by the amount that you're moving, right? And I wouldn't say that you can eat that extra donut on the plate, right? If you run like 2 miles, because who wants to run like 2 extra miles just for a donut, right? It's not worth it every single day, okay? And another thing is, once you have a high protein diet and you always feel satiated and you prioritize those carbohydrates, those carb sources that are large in size but low in energy, so for example potatoes, sweet potatoes, mandioca, even like watermelon, papaya, mango, these are amazing fruits as a sources of carb because they are large in size, big in size, but very low in calories, very low in energy. So for example, for watermelon, you can eat like 300 grams for only 90 calories. So what's that? Nothing, right? So this is how you want to structure your nutrition, and this way you can avoid being too hungry, overeating, or exceeding your calorie limits, and you will be for sure in a calorie deficit this time. Your weight loss will not be just a weight loss anymore, but it will transform into fat loss, which you are primarily aiming for, right? Because you want to look better, not just be smaller. And ultimately, the next metric that we are measuring is your sleep, right? So, if you say that calorie deficit is not working for you, probably your sleep quality is so poor that it sabotages your fat loss processes. It slows it down because your stress hormone level, your cortisol will go up. Cortisol makes you more likely to accumulate body fat because it is a stress hormone after all. And your testosterone levels will go down if your sleep quality is poor, which means, and also your growth hormone levels, and both of them promote fat loss and muscle gains. And generally, like human growth hormone also promotes being youthful. This is an anti-aging fountain of youth, we can call that. And if you don't have enough of these, of course, you will look older, fatter, weaker, softer. And you definitely don't want to be older, fatter, weaker, softer. Actually, you want to look and feel younger, stronger, and more vital. And of course, rock hard. This is your goal. This is what you're aiming for. But it won't happen without quality sleep. So what we do with our clients is that we get daily data and feedback on how well they are sleeping with the help of a device which by the way I'm not affiliated with. We've just been using this for years over and over, and it has stood the test of time. This is called the Oura Ring. So this is a little ring, a little device that you put on your finger, and it accurately reads and tracks your sleep data, different sleep stages, and sleep metrics that are relevant to you. And it assigns your sleep score every single morning from 1 to 100. I'm proud to say that all of our clients who have been at least 2 months on the program are consistently pulling in over 85 to 90 sleep score nights, because they have quickly and efficiently adapted to the rules of deep sleep. So how to make it deep and quality. So once you've got that nailed, you've got a custom pre-bed routine, a sleep protocol that you can follow, which is not too neurotic but suitable for your lifestyle, as long as you know what are the right supplements to take but you're not taking any kind of external medicine like melatonin, as long as you know what the ideal sleep environment looks like and you're actually using it every single day, right? Because it's easy to say sleep environment was chill and nice, but if it is not between 16 to 18 Fahrenheit, if it is not dark enough, or you don't use a sleep mask or blackout curtain, or if you are interrupted many times because the noise environment is just unbearable, then you might have to rethink like how you sleep and what your sleep environment is, and if you're being honest with whether your sleep environment is chill or not. Because if it is not chill, don't do it, don't pursue it, right? Make some changes. So many different factors influence your sleep and help you with better or worse sleep quality. It depends on to which trajectory are you going. But one thing for sure, sleep as a compounding effort and improving its quality is exponential. So it has such a great effect not only on your weight loss or fat loss, but also your muscle building processes, muscle recovery, nerve recovery, decision making skills, energy level throughout the day. So ultimately, high quality sleep will help you look more handsome, be stronger, make more money. Who wouldn't want all of these at the same time simultaneously, right? So this is why it's very important. And as a result of all of this, when you have high testosterone levels, when you have high growth hormone levels, what else does sleep have to offer us? Very good question, right? So sleep, besides elevating your testosterone and growth hormone levels, also helps you with reducing your hunger hormone levels, which is called ghrelin, and increasing your satiety hormone levels, which is called leptin. So when you are less hungry and actually less food is enough for you to feel completely full, and you eat a high protein diet, there is like a 0% chance that you will bowl out too much and do a massive cheating on your diet, right? Anyway, as I said in one of my previous videos, if your diet is so good that you enjoy it and it is high in protein and it aligns with your health goals, then you don't have to cheat on it. It's like if your wife is so good that she takes care of you, takes care of the kid, and is always loving, and is supporting your mission, then why would you cheat on her? The same goes for your nutrition. I don't like the word diet, because diet always refers to tactics, right? Short-term gimmicks, hacks, tips, tricks, whatever, that works for 90 days until you're doing a shredding challenge, and then you get fucked off, right? And you start eating like crap again, you will gain all the weight back. You definitely don't want that. That's why I'm saying nutrition, because nutrition means strategy, being intentional about what, when, and how you eat. So these are the things that you want to remember, and with optimal sleep and enough protein consumed throughout the day, there is no possible way that you can't get into a caloric deficit. So if your goal is losing body weight, and you specifically want to lose body fat, so not just become smaller but actually look better, healthier and more athletic, then you want to do this route. Tracking your protein intake, tracking your sleep, being consistent about both of these, and you don't necessarily have to track your calories. So for example, in the Demi Cycle Protocol, we don't have our clients track calories or like even count their macros. The only thing that we track is protein intake and sleep. And I think the results, they speak for themselves. So once the camera focuses, you will be able to see this too. So all of these gentlemen here, over the age of 45, some of them 55 even, they achieved these results, or result like this. This is only 2 months, lost half of his belly fat, and it also like, wow, lots of tons of client transformations saved in these folders. Alright, anyway, all of these gentlemen here, this is the full folder because some of you were asking. Some of the pictures I mind though, but yeah, you can see how many successful case studies we have. So yeah, you might as well consider joining us and making fat loss easy for you, making transforming your health easy for you. But my final message for today is that if these gentlemen over the age of 40 and 50 could pull this off, why couldn't you, right? Why do you insist on counting calories? I know that this is safe and this is simple for you for a certain period of time, for a certain amount of time. It is like an anchor, it is like, you know, but also at the same time, it is an anchor that helps, you know, just to park your ship or whatever. I'm not good with nautical language, but anyway, it helps you as an anchor, but also it is a wheelchair at the same time, because it, you know, you are being tied down, you're limited with your movement, you feel like, okay, you're not free anymore, and that's not good. Because if you feel like counting calories every single day is a burden, probably you shouldn't do that, because that will make you more stressed. And what is stress? That's cortisol, stress hormone. What does stress hormone do? As I said earlier in this video, it just drives up your stress levels, and it makes you more likely to accumulate body fat. So it attracts the body fat. Stress always builds down the muscle, attracts the body fat. Builds down the muscle, attracts the body fat. That's why highly stressed people tend to be more skinny fat. That's like one of the typical signs of a high cortisol individual is that they have very little muscle mass and very high body fat percentage. So you definitely don't want to end up there, and if you're already there, you definitely want to cultivate a low stress environment, and that primarily works through optimizing your sleep and setting a few things in order about your nutrition. It's literally that simple. Supplementation comes just on top of that. We will talk about it later. But this is it for today, guys. So just remember, if you want to sustainably lose fat, not just body weight, you want to eat high protein, and you want to fix your sleep, so you create the ideal hormonal environment for you to make it easy, fun, and enjoyable. And this way, you can never ever again say that caloric deficit is not working for you. And yes, you can get into a caloric deficit without counting calories. And yes, counting calories might help you in the beginning, it might be helpful, but in the long term it's just a long and tedious task that takes a lot of your time. The more of your time it takes, the more of your money it takes, right? Because as an entrepreneur or high achiever, every single minute of the day is counting for you, and you want to leverage each of these units of time that you have in a day as much as you can, so you get more return on investment on your time. So probably counting calories for 20-30 minutes a day might not be the most efficient for you, or might not be the most optimal solution. So just think about this, and if you're a little bit overwhelmed, or if you're a little bit confused and you want to know how it would look like in your lifestyle to implement those dietary frameworks, those nutritional principles that we were talking about today, or if you're curious, how could we optimize your sleep, from where to where we could get you, and how does that work, how we helped our clients with that, and if you're also ready to become unrecognizable in 6 months, to permanently fix your health, and to get below 15% body fat with perfect sleep and recovery, and you happen to be a high achiever or an executive or an entrepreneur over the age of 40 and 50, then feel free to go to the description and book a free call with us through the link below, and we will craft up a game plan for you on how we would help you achieve your health goals in 2024, and how it would look like, how the roadmap would look like month by month, broken down to what we would exactly do with you and what kind of results it would result in, right? So if you are ready to invest in your health, if you are committed, if you said already that enough is enough, it's time to fix my body weight, my health, my body composition, this can't go on like this anymore, then book a free call with us and we will see if we are a good fit to work each other. Oh, sorry, throat is getting right over it. So we will see if you are a good fit for our program. And if you happen to be procrastinating, if you happen to be a person who lies to himself that he has no time or no energy to do this, or bad genetics, I can't pull it off, I can't lose body weight. Well, all of these guys I've shown you the picture of, they had so-called bad genetics. They were old as well, older than the average, right? They were, you know, they have had a slow metabolism, right? And they still made it happen. So before you book a free call with us, and before we would waste each other's time, right? Try just throwing your excuses and your limiting beliefs where they belong to the trash can. Watch my previous video. Get your mind in shape first, right? Because what I mean by that is you train your mindset to the level where you're letting go of your excuses and you're finally ready to make a few very simple lifestyle changes and adapt the systems that we will implement into your lifestyle. So if you are this type of person who is not ready for that, then don't book a free call. If you are ready for this and ready to get invested and started today, then book a call with us and we might as well schedule you for tomorrow latest. Okay? And if you generally enjoyed and watched this video and it made you think about what caloric deficit is and how you can achieve this without counting calories, and you actually found this useful and you might have already tried this at home and it worked well for you, I'm really happy for you. And if you can, you just have a spare second, push that like button and the subscribe, share this with your friends, your family, your colleagues, employees, team members, whoever is important to you, and let's stop counting calories together this year. Cheers, see you next one.